What do fungi, psychedelics, and individualism have in common? According to this next title, they're all interconnected parts of our relationship to all forms of life. And conveniently, they're all popular topics of conversation. Welcome to Audiobook Reviews in 5. This is Yana, also known as Jana, and in today's episode, I'm reviewing Entangled Life, how fungi make our worlds, change our minds, and shape our futures. Written and read by Merlin Sheldrake. If you visit his website, you can watch a video of oyster mushrooms sprouting from a copy of Merlin Sheldrake's book. When his first published copy arrived from the printers, he marked the occasion by enthusiastically dampening the pages and allowing the mushrooms to devour his work, which he in turn consumed, thereby eating his own words. I've added a link to this video in the show notes, along with a video of Sheldrake performing piano accompaniment to the sound of his book being devoured by a fungus. Suffice to say, Merlin Sheldrake isn't your average biologist. Sheldrake's history of getting close to his subject and consuming them enthusiastically makes this a fascinating listen. His endless curiosity made me want to learn more too. Describing his early experiments in fermentation as a university student, he tinkers with various yeasts and other ingredients to brew spiced meads, fruit and hawthorn wines, nettle beers, and various medicinal potions based on centuries-old recipes. After a couple of years, he says, he had several large brewing containers. His room was lined with barrels of bubbling liquids and his wardrobe filled up with bottles. Sheldrake extensively explores relatively familiar fungi, like truffles and mushrooms containing psilocybin, and this was interesting. But it's his defiance of the yuck factor in molds and bacteria that really stands out. In another memorable anecdote, Sheldrake shares the story of a slime mold enthusiast who frequently got lost in IKEA stores and would spend many minutes trying to find the exit. He decided to challenge his slime molds with the same problem and built a maze based on the floor plan of his local IKEA. Sure enough, without any signs or staff to direct them, the slime molds soon found the shortest path to the exit. As someone without an academic science background, I loved Sheldrake's storytelling and comfort with everyday objects and processes that occur all around us. He brings clarity to a topic that once seemed mysterious to me, with lines like, quote, "The difference between animals and fungi is simple. Animals put food in their bodies, whereas fungi put their bodies in the food," unquote. Sheldrake also argues persuasively that the symbiotic merging of algae and fungi, which form lichen, enabled the rootless ancestors of all our plants to grow on rocks and eventually to produce soil. Today, 60% of the enzymes used in industry are generated by fungi, and 15% of all vaccines are produced by engineered strains of yeast. But this book isn't merely a collection of fun facts about fungi. Sheldrake's perspective demands we also return to the big questions, namely, how we think about ourselves as individuals with fixed identities. When Sheldrake points out that microbial cells outnumber human cells in our body by a ratio of around 10 to 1, it's a useful illustration that all life forms are in fact processes, not things. Quote, "The you of 5 years ago was made from different stuff than the you of today. Nature is an event that never stops." As William Bateson, who coined the word genetics, observed, we commonly think of animals and plants as matter, but they are really systems through which matter is continually passing, unquote. Sheldrake's narration is soothing and easy to follow. After listening to so many audiobooks about human problems and conflict, this felt like a much-needed escape. Also a much-needed reframing of our biological reality. Sheldrake may be an unconventional academic, but he's also enthusiastically bridging the gap between popular culture and biology, by lending an unexpected charisma to his subject. I never expected to become engrossed in a book about fungi, but then I picked up this title and I couldn't put it down. Apparently, I'm in good company given the attention this title is receiving from the scientific community, as well as the likes of Michael Pollan, Russell Brand, and many others. Entangled Life has even inspired a couture collection by fashion designer Iris van Herpen. And with that in mind, if you're looking for a bit of inspiration, this might be just the thing. That's all for this episode of Audiobook Reviews in 5. Thanks for listening. If you have not yet done so, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to Audiobook Reviews in 5 on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and many others. By subscribing, you help increase the profile of this podcast and chances of other listeners finding it. I look forward to checking in with you all again soon. Please stay safe and be well.